Ain't it a great day? Ain't it a great day? Ain't it a great day? Ain't it a great day?
Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is October 12th, 2025, and the great separation happens now. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to explain what that means. I'm going to explain why Bitcoin is likely to stay right where it is. Do not expect Bitcoin, at least I do not expect Bitcoin to move up any further. Meanwhile, the bullish altcoins, again, I'm going to separate. The bullish altcoins are going to make higher highs. They're going to break resistances and make higher highs. The bearish altcoins are going to retest previous support as new resistance. This is what I call the great separation. Not only that, also the fact that Bitcoin staying right where it's at and the bullish altcoins are moving up, right? The great separation. So if that all sounds interesting to you, then watch until the very end. Hope everyone's having a great day. Let's get into it. Let me start by saying, if you were affected in the great deleveraging event on the 10th, do not lose heart. I know it sucks to watch the market recover after completely wiping you out and making you a non-participant. But as per my analysis, the previous two bull markets, pure bull markets, I'm not talking about a mini run, but a pure bull market, which I believe this is what we are currently experiencing. Okay, not in Bitcoin yet, but in most of the bullish altcoins. A pure bull market in the cryptocurrency space in the past lasted around 850 days. We have two such examples. I'm not going to say that this one is also going to last 850 days, but just for some perspective, if it were to last in the same amount of time, you will have your chance. You'll have your opportunity. Please don't lose heart. Don't feel like this is just a quick move and it's going to take a couple weeks or a month or 2 months or 3 months, like all the garbage people say. It has nothing to do with that. You'll have your chance. So stay with it. Stick to this. Stay attentive. Stay in the space. Stay active, and you'll have your chance. All right. And I'll also say trading a corrective market is difficult. It's so difficult that people call it a no trade zone. A lot of professional traders call it a no trade zone because, of all of the uncertainty and the capriciousness of the price action going up and down and just zigzagging and, trending markets like the one we're about to enter is so much easier to trade, and it's a million times more profitable. So please don't leave the space. Don't leave us. All right. This is the great separation. I was looking at Bitcoin a little more carefully. And first, let me say, why do I believe we don't move much further up from here in Bitcoin? It's because if you look at this 90-day channel, right? This is channel price action, 90 days worth. You see that this right here is the midline or the point of control or the heart line. And the move that we experienced on the 10th of October took us all the way down to the bottom of the channel, and now we found our way back up to it. If Bitcoin is indeed bearish, which I believe it is, and just have a quick look at the higher time frame. Let's just zoom out onto the weekly time frame, because higher time frames sometimes they provide better perspective. You can see just how this is a rollover. I know if you look at charts, if you have any experience looking at enough charts, you can see that this right here is rolling over. You seldom see a bullish continuation where the consolidation just seems to keep going and keep going, and that typically leads to a reversal. Okay. Also, we have every indication on the charts, every indication on the on chain to indicate that this indeed is a top. It's not the top of the bull market because we're not in the bull market. Okay, I'm not going to get into that, but it is, again, not the top of the bull market because we were never in the bull market. People will understand that. I've been saying this for years, actually. People will understand this. It's quite clear, and if you think about it, everything makes so much more sense if you accept the fact that we're still in a bear market, and we've always been in a bear market despite Bitcoin going from 16K to 126K. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. In any case, right here, it's likely rolling over, and going back on the smaller time frame, you now are retesting the broken support of the heart line as resistance. All right, I'm going to turn on my stochastic RSI momentum indicator, and it's going to show us that the daily, right now, the stochastic RSI momentum indicator is open bearish, right? So the K and D lines crossed up here, and it's open bearish. So it crossed on the 5th, the 6th up here, and it's still open, and it hasn't even come close to closing. So just looking at indicators, and again, indicators are secondary to price action, but just going by this indicator, there's no reason to believe that this bearish trend to the downside is over. Okay, I'm gonna flip to the weekly time frame, and yeah, look, my weekly time frame stochastic RSI momentum indicator is also crossing bearishly. It's not good. That candle closes in 6 hours. This is not good. If you're bullish, if you believe we can do a bullish reclamation, there's so many indications to suggest that Bitcoin is indeed stuck at the midline resistance, because remember, in a channel, the midline is resistance when you're below it, support when you're above it. We're currently below it, and this is 90 days of resistance. Okay, doesn't look very good for continuation. So do expect Bitcoin to continue to the downside. And actually, let me say something else. Not only should Bitcoin continue down to the upside, it should continue down to the upside in an even more impulsive way, because if you really pay attention, what you see here in this 90-day channel is, I'm not looking at it as head and shoulders right now. I'm just looking at it in terms of two degrees of AB basing and a pivot. So Elliott wave AB basing theory. That's one pair of AB basing. That's my second pair of AB basing. This zigzag is my third pair. We're still not in pure impulsive price action. And it makes sense, right? Because if we were, you would expect this right here, although this is impulsive, it's not pure impulse. This is corrective impulse. If this were pure impulse, you would expect 1, 2, 3, 4 hourly candles to be matched by the retracement in approximately 4 hourly candles. But right now, as it is, this retracement to the midline has taken 11 4 hourly candles. There's too much of a discrepancy between the down move and the retracement, right? The correction and the counter correction. There's no congruence to say that this is pure impulsive price action. I believe, based off of what I just said, counting my AB bases and such, that this pure impulsive price action starts here and goes like such. My first target in and around 90K. My first counter correction, the bottom of this 90-day channel, because we know channels don't break in any way but to retest the midline like we're doing, break down from the channel, and that breakdown is going to give you the height of the channel superimposed from the side of breakout, which is around 90K, which is confluent with the midline of this 300 plus day channel. Then you're going to get a retest of the bottom of the channel at around 106, and then you're going to get the massive move down to around 66-ish, something like that. I don't know. I'm just guessing. A wave 4 where you hang out a bit, and then a final capitulative wave 5 in the 50s where then you start your bullish reclamation and Bitcoin's bull market starts. Long story short, Bitcoin's not at all bullish, and don't expect it to move up here for now based off of what I'm seeing in the charts. But what about altcoins? This is why I'm calling this episode the Great Separation, because altcoins, even bearish altcoins, are moving up. All right, I'm looking at my watch lists, and hold up one second, let me fix my screen for a sec. I'm looking at my watch list, and Bitcoin's up 3%. Meanwhile, pretty much every altcoin is up multiple times that. Okay, so I believe that this is what we call alt season. Bitcoin is hanging out, going up marginally, and altcoins are going up much more. But there's even further separation, and I teased it in the beginning. Not every altcoin is based the same. Not every altcoin should be judged the same. There are certain altcoins that are bullish and others that are bearish. Don't be confused about that, right? Now, let's separate Bitcoin from altcoins and separate bullish altcoins from bearish altcoins. So 2 different separations. And to prove that, we can see your Bitcoin dominance chart. Before we started looking at others' dominance, because I think others' dominance is a better capture of what's going on with the bullish altcoins. But let's just look at Bitcoin dominance for old time's sake, which will give you a really good idea as to why this is the first big move of alt season. Okay, it's the first big move of alt season because although, and I've said this before on the channel, you can see in June, right here, the beginning of alt season, which is the breakdown of Bitcoin dominance from this 850 plus day channel, right? This is the beginning of alt season. Now, just like any other channel, right? Remember, this is an 850-day channel. Ever since May of 23 to present day, about 850 days. That's Bitcoin going up and to the right against altcoins, and finally in June of this year, it started to break down. But that's just a choppy corrective breakdown. You don't really see it much. Some altcoins run, most of them don't. You don't see it in your portfolio. You still feel like nothing's happening. Now, come 2 days ago, October 10th, we got a big move down in Bitcoin, right, to the bottom of that channel, which resulted in Bitcoin dominance going all the way back to the midline of this channel. What do we know, once again, about channels and how price matriculates through channels? In order to break a channel, you first have to retest the midline, right? And this is a bearish break, so this is a bearish retest, retesting it as resistance, and that was done on October 10th in the evening. Specifically, I think it was 5:21 p.m. October 10th, 5:21 p.m. Eastern Standard, which would be the official start of the big moves in altcoins. Okay? You got that big move down, and this is basically going to swing failure down to the next logical support level, which is here. I marked this out a while ago. If you zoom out just a second, you'll see that this dotted line, or it's not dotted, it's dashed. This dashed line is a resistance that's been in place since about 2017. Okay, so it's 8-year resistance, and we broke that resistance with Bitcoin chopping up and to the right. this breakdown is going to retest this broken resistance as support temporarily. Okay, and so we know, because we know how price matriculates through a channel, that we can expect the following. Watch this. So you take your path tool, you retested your 850-day channel midline as resistance, you break down to the next logical support level, that broken resistance right there, and then you retest this, the bottom of the channel, as resistance, and then you keep it moving. So this is the move we should expect in the Bitcoin dominance chart. Okay, what does this mean practically speaking? Let's make it another color. Whatever, doesn't matter. No, I don't want to make it the same color as the green candles because it's kind of confusing. Let's make it hot pink. Okay. When you go down like this move right here is going to be the great separation. Okay, and this is already happening. Expect it to continue. If you're wondering, well, okay, it looks like altcoins are kind of pumping right now. Until when are they going to pump? When should I take profit? I want to take profit. All right, this indicator, this Bitcoin dominance indicator is telling you on this chart right here, this is where you're going to want to take profit on altcoins. Right there. Because at that point, you are going to reverse course and you will have to retest the bottom of this 850-day channel as resistance. So this is going to be your first pump. We're in it already. You can see it right there. This is going to be your first retracement. This is going to be the start of when Bitcoin breaks down and targets 90K. Okay? This is obviously an indicator. It's Bitcoin dominance. It's, a catch-all. It's not going to give you precise targets for the altcoins that you're trading, if you're trading any. And it may not help you in the case of a bearish altcoin, which may be stuck at resistance because, maybe, it may help you that, because if you get here, you'll know at least when the big move down is coming, right? This is the big move down in Bitcoin that's going to take everything down. But what's important is the great separation. This, I would label the great separation, will make it so that the bullish altcoins move out of the way. And I've been saying this for quite a long time. I didn't know exactly how it would happen, but here it is in front of us now. The bullish altcoins are getting that move. They're moving out of the way. Some of them, a few 100%, so that when Bitcoin goes down to 90K, they don't make lower lows. They don't break structure, okay, on a high time frame. This is very important. So that's the Bitcoin dominance chart. I think it's important or helpful to see in that way. Now, we can also see on the total 3 chart, and this is again a throwback, and I, again, feel like looking at, and let's pull it up really quickly, the others chart, you will get a better approximation as to what these altcoins, the bullish altcoins, are going to do. Look, the bullish altcoins started moving off the line, like I said, on October 10th, right? The evening of October 10th. And they are likely to put in 500%. They're about 600%, right? So like a 7x off of those lows of October 10th, all right? Because that next target is the top right here. So that's a big move off of the bottoms. The bullish altcoins are going to do numbers, and I don't know exactly how long this lasts. I posited it may last until late Monday, early Tuesday, but I don't know. I'd say a couple days, a few days. Timing's difficult because I don't have pure impulsive price action to time this market with. But the next few days, I would say, don't be surprised if you see some 5, 6, 7 X's in the bullish altcoins. They'll distinguish themselves from just the bearish altcoins, okay? And now you look at the total 3, which we'll switch to end our analysis, you have the total 3 now as a viable read of the altcoin space. Because for so long I said, no, the total 3 is not a good indication of what the market's doing, because it was hanging out here, and I was like, no, this clearly has to retest here. I know that, so I didn't even look at it. So I was seeing this 3-wave flat correction, and I was like, oh no, we're in the B wave, we need that move down. We got that move down. This is a perfect retest of our 1500-day inverse head and shoulders bullish reversal pattern. And you can say this neckline right here is now going to be, as you can see, targeted. So we can do that properly with a line tool, the bottom of this inverse head and shoulders bullish reversal pattern, right, superimposed from the neckline. The neckline's quite clear and precise because we got it to the penny with that move. And I would say, yeah, let's move it down a little bit. We can move this down. That's the move. Okay, so 1.94 trillion in the total 3. But again, you see the total 3 isn't showing you as much because it's not as accurate an indication as to what the bullish altcoins are doing. It's conflating bullish and bearish altcoins. The altcoins stuck at resistance and the altcoins that are breaking resistance. So all in all, you're getting an inaccurate target of about 150, 160%. But the total 3 can nonetheless be seen to be breaking out. This breakout now gives you confirmation that it's alt season, that altcoins are moving against Bitcoin, that indeed not only is alt season here, it's happening, and it's not necessarily going to be that Bitcoin moving down to its target of 55 to 60K will necessarily break the rest of the cryptocurrency space, because altcoins are currently moving out of the way. So that is my analysis. I think this is important, really important. Again, this is a generalized analysis using these indicators just to give an idea, a conceptual understanding of what I think is going on right now in the altcoin space. But for best results, you have to do your analysis specifically to the asset that you're trading. Discern whether or not it's bullish or bearish, right? A bullish altcoin or a bearish altcoin. If it's a bearish altcoin, where you're going to probably take profit and salvage the position, if at all. And even within the category of bearish altcoins, there are altcoins that are one small corrective move away from then going in pure impulse. So even if you don't manage to get out of that position, you don't have much to wait until they start printing. So guys, hope this was helpful, useful. Like, share, and subscribe. Hope everyone got value. Consider my crypto portfolio mentorship and consultation service, where you can sign up to trade directly with me. A portfolio of up to 5 altcoins, where we try and pick out the bullish from the bearish altcoins, the ones that are ready from the ones that aren't, and then identify high probability support and resistances to snowball profits. You can sign up to that at the pinned comment below. Then I have the single asset analysis service that I recently had a flash sale on, and for everyone who ordered that, you should already have your analysis in your inbox. So good luck to you. I hope that was helpful. And that's it for me. Take care. Bye.
I vocalize, too deep to localize, even when I'm right on the surface. You act surprised how I work this, but I can't lie. Many a good alibi. I'll catch you later. Visions are vividly enhanced with emphasis and amethyst to develop morale advantages which help us manifest magnanimous. We body vitals like evangelists. So listen when you're dealing with people who be revealing premonitions with precision. At least that's what I'm aiming at for now. I speak the language of the world, meandering throughout the crowd. Used to feel safe to say anything, but now it's a risk. It's hard for me to let go when all I can do is reminisce. Gone like the wind, here's where I begin. Should I smile or should I grin what's happening? Gone like the wind.